I'm playing around with the lighting here a little bit today. I recognize completely that it's a little bright, but I'm trying my best to. I'm actually operating from home, as I've been talking to the viewers for literally weeks now. We're marking almost 1 month that I've been locked in my house, and still trying to find the right settings with the lighting. You know, there's a lot of natural light in my house, so it tends to be a different trick every day for me to get the lighting right. I don't know, that might look a little better. I feel like it's a little dark on this side now, but we'll check into that a little later. So the crazy thing yesterday.
If an American president loses,
if you really want me to lose my shit, okay? The president is doing something unprecedented, okay? And the media cannot handle it. They're choking on it every single day. No president has gone day after day after day after day out in front of the people of America every single day, out in front of all the press, and taking almost every question that comes at him. No one does that. And then every time he does a little screw up or something, they slice and dice and slice and dice. We're still getting past the hydroxychloroquine issue, okay? This is a drug that's been around for 70 years. It's used in almost every country around the world where malaria is prevalent, okay? It's used regularly, all right? There are side effects, which any doctor will tell you, and if you have a real doctor, which you should, and he knows what your pre-existing conditions are, he's not going to give you hydroxychloroquine if it's going to give you a heart arrhythmia and kill you from it, okay? But if you're eligible, there are stories out there all across the internet, people I personally know that felt like they may have been on the brink or on death's door, and then they got hydroxychloroquine, and they didn't, boom, feel better immediately. But it was one part of a treatment regimen that brought them back off a ventilator and upright again with their family, which is a lot to say. You know, 80% of the people, and we're going to have to look at this down the line, but 80% of the people that went on a ventilator ultimately perished, unfortunately. So maybe the ventilators are not the best move in the world, and you know, there may be some science out there that says that the use of ventilators was actually not the right remedy for it. Now, I was mentioning the press and the media and how I, yesterday, was about to lose my shit. Because, you know, you got the president out there every single day. And he's brawling, he's fighting, he's trying to keep people up to date, he's trying to give people information. And the media just keeps giving him the most disingenuous coverage I've ever seen of any president in all time, okay? So now, let's take a look at this vermin of a reporter. And if you ever needed one more reason to hate New York Magazine, here you go. Let's take a look at what one reporter thought it was real important to ask the president about yesterday.
if an American president loses more Americans over the course of 6 weeks than died in the entirety of the Vietnam War, does he deserve to be reelected?
So, yeah, we've lost a lot of people, but if you look at what original projections were, 2.2 million, we're probably heading to 60,000, 70,000. It's far too many. One person is too many for this. And I think we've made a lot of really good decisions. The big decision was closing the border or doing the ban. People coming in from China, obviously other than American citizens, which had to come in. Can't say you can't come in, you can't come back to your country. I think we've made a lot of good decisions. I think that Mike Pence and the task force have done a fantastic job. I think that everybody working on the ventilators, you see what we've done there, have done unbelievable. The press doesn't talk about ventilators anymore. No. They just don't want to talk about them, and that's okay. But the reason they don't want to talk, that was a subject that nobody would get off of. They don't want to talk about them. We're in the same position on testing. We are lapping the world on testing, and the world is coming to us. As I said, they're coming to us saying, what are you doing? How do you do it? And we're helping them. So, no, I think we've done a great job. And One person, I will say this, one person is too many.
So there you have it. Even the president says one person is too many, okay? But give me a damn break already, okay? These are gotcha questions. I gotcha, okay? Why are you asking the president if his reelection has some correlation to the amount of deaths in America exceeding the amount of deaths in the Vietnam War? You know how many people are in America? 350 million. Why don't you ask a smart question? Oh, that's right, because the smart question wouldn't make any sense. Take the percent of people killed in the Vietnam War, God bless them, every one of the veterans. Take the percent of the total troops out there, and the number is ridiculous on mortality rate. Right now, we're looking at spot 5, like a half of 1%. The flu is spot 3. So we're not that far off from the flu. And somehow or another, this miserable, sniveling reporter from New York Magazine wants to ask the president if there's some comparison between people killed by this deadly virus and those killed protecting our freedoms and liberties in Vietnam. It's really absolutely disgusting. And you know, on Liquid Lunch, every so often, I like to turn a drink here and there, bend an elbow. Before I pop a vein in my skull, I'm going to pour myself a little bullet right now, a little bullet bourbon to calm myself down. Why don't you, if you're free and you got one ready, why don't you crack open a cold one? I need it so I don't lose it, okay? Now, I've been mentioning for the last couple weeks that I'm getting a lot of submissions from viewers. Many people, including my own brother Derek, tend to send me messages about the outfits that I choose to wear on television, which I think are mint, me personally. And speaking of mint, I want to send a very special birthday shout out to my buddy Al Gattulo from AM 970, The Answers, Joe Piscopo show, heard every single day, 6 to 10 Eastern, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern here in New York. Al is one of the top guys out there, former Staten Islander, but always a Staten Islander at heart. And you want to meet a great guy, that's one of them. Al, happy birthday, okay? But keep the viewer submissions coming. I poke a little fun at people here and there, and as I was going through, and people ask me about my wild pinstripes, and my brother Derek yells at me sometimes about the plaids I wear, and he says I look like Steve Harvey and everything else. Going through some old stuff, I found this picture, and I may have shown it before on Liquid Lunch, but for those of you just starting to join us now and get to know about what happens here with the Lunch Bunch, if you want to know why I tend to dress radically sometimes, okay, it's not just because, you know, I'm an old school Goomba from Staten Island, but my parents mentally scarred me from the time I was a child. They actually screwed me up mentally by doing something to me that no one would probably do these days. At this point, the way our society has become so liberal and politically incorrect, somebody might have called child services on this parent these days. But in second grade, you want to know why my fashion stylings are so unique? In second grade, my parents decided, now the school usually gives you two choices. The boys can wear a white, all white suit, or they can wear, you know, white pants with a blue blazer. It's kind of like the norm, white with blue blazer or all white, okay? Now imagine this, holy child, Roman Catholic Church, second grade. I'm walking in there with my parents, and every single kid has on either a full white suit or a white pants and a blue suit. And here's me and my father, straight out of Beretta. There's my communion suit, folks. Take a look, okay? That's what I'm dealing with. Yes, you have it right. It is a green, three-piece, floral print communion suit. That's what I wore to my communion. I had the white tie on with the vest and the jacket, and my father's rocking his best Tony Montana leisure suit, so you can understand the sign of the times. But no one should send their child to their communion in a green suit. Thank you, Mom. Appreciate it. You really gave me my style. I can't complain these days, but I do appreciate it. And you know, as I'm digging through the crates and poking a little fun, even at myself, my friend Sally Dogs, who watches the show all the time, and you know, from time to time, sends me a funny joke or some quip or sees something that he heard and finds it funny and interesting. And I come across all kinds of things. And you know, from time to time, for those of you watching at home, I could be a little difficult on Nico, my producer. Yesterday, he actually accused me of being a dictator. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to pay him back a little bit and thank him for all the work he's done. And if we're going to dig into the crates to my second grade days, I want to show you what his mom, Gina, thought she was doing well for him. So this may be why Nico and I have something in common, because when we were kids, we were both scarred by our parents' choices. But Nico's mom let him go to Sally Dog's wedding with this haircut. Okay, and those of you who know Nico now, he's a young, tall, strapping, handsome young man. But at one point, he was rocking the quarantine bowl cut at Sally Dog's wedding. And there's his father. Father looks almost exactly the same. Nico, thank God, got rid of the bowl cut. Nico, thank you for that. And